Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Future Beauty discussion. Today, Vanessa McDonald will dissect and dive us into the world of online marketing and the strategies that you can apply to keep your beauty business blooming. I'm Frank Sellam, and I'm your host and the CEO of Vital Plus. CEO, what does that mean, CEO? Well, it means that I've spent 30 years in the beauty industry, and that I've met thousands and thousands of beauty therapists and salon owners like yourself. Just drop a Y for yes if you know me. It also means that my career has journeyed alongside yours, and that over the years, what's kept my passion thriving and my energy bubbling is being in a position to help you and support you. And that's why I created the Future Beauty Talk. It's a platform on which we invite special guest speakers like Vanessa today, and for them to share their knowledge and their area of expertise with you. Now, who is Vanessa McDonald? Well, she's the founder of Sellam Marketing Creative Agency. If you know Vanessa, just drop a V for Vanessa if you've already met Vanessa before. So you can go and visit her website and just see what she has to offer. There's a lot of things there. Now, the interesting thing about Vanessa is I met her only recently over the phone, and it's quite interesting. It's a new way you make friends these days, but when you're on the phone, you have a different you get different parameters of what you feel about the person. And I can tell you she's the most passionate, high energy, full steam ahead person I've had the pleasure to meet and talk with. Now, if you want to stand out like a pink flamingo amongst a flock of pigeons, then Vanessa is the person that will help you. Now, today, Vanessa was going to talk about seven online marketing strategies. However, there's so much to cover, and Vanessa didn't want to take any shortcuts, that we've decided rather than skipping over things, we'd split the presentation into two talks. So we're having one part today, where Vanessa's going to go into three main strategies, and then one next week at the same time. Now, just let me reassure you that we are recording these sessions and that you'll be able to get the recordings on our closed Facebook group. In fact, I'll drop the link if you're not already part of our group, so that you can catch those recordings if you can't make next week's session. Yeah, so please join me now and welcome Vanessa McDonald.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I really appreciate being invited to share some of my experience and my knowledge with your group today. And hello, everybody. Thank you. I'm delighted to be here, and I've prepared a presentation for you so that I leave no stone unturned as far as the details go with some of the strategies that I know have helped other clinic owners, and therefore will also help you regardless of your current situation. I'm curious to know, what is your current situation? So who is living life in lockdown at the moment? I certainly am. I'm in Sydney, located in the eastern suburbs in a suburb called Clovelly. Pretty lucky to be in lockdown in this area. It's by the ocean, and my office has a lovely ocean view. So I have a lot to be grateful for, but it does make it tough. We have our it's a roller coaster ride, isn't it? Anyone who's joining from Victoria would know exactly what that's like, and every time I hear a new announcement around Victoria, I just can't even imagine what that fatigue must be like. Being only my second lockdown, because last year I did a border dash for Queensland and went and lived in Queensland for 8 months. So I was pretty much living a COVID-free existence. And then all of a sudden here I am. And it's definitely, so we've got someone quarantining in Shepparton. Okay, yeah. I heard about that on the press conference today. And we've got Ali's in Sydney and Rosalind's also in lockdown. And yeah, so Kelly, Vicky, so it's tough times to own a beauty clinic, to own a skin clinic. And regardless if you're not locked down or not, I know that these strategies are a way of future-proofing your business, and they're a way of being able to have some power and some control over what is happening with your income. It does take a little bit of setup and a little bit of work, but I just would like to, my goal today is to get you all to think about doing business a little bit differently, and to give you some strategies and some tactics on how you can move forward with some of the suggestions that I make today. Okay, I'm going to start my presentation. So we have 7 online strategies, and I am going to be sharing 3 with you today to keep your business glowing through lockdown, through all sorts of different COVID situations, and just in general. Now, before I do, a little bit of just a heads up. I have 2 fur children. That's Ziggy on the left. He's 11 years old. He's really good at doing his job. If he hears anything in the stairwell, if he hears a dog walk past and a leash tinker, Ziggy leaps into action, and he's a naughty boy. He might look cute and innocent, but doesn't always listen to his mother. Pippa on the right is 10. She does whatever I say whenever I say it instantly. So we have no problems there, but just heads up, there might be a little bit of barking in the background. And on occasion, I might need to step away and ask them to be quiet, but it really depends on how well they're doing their job on the day by protecting the household. So a little bit about me. I am the founder of Sellam Marketing Creative Agency. We've been around now we're going into our 6th year, but I've been in the beauty industry for 20 years. And I entered the industry back in the late 90s, and my working history has given me the opportunity to work with some incredible brands like Shortcuts, Sellam Software, where I was in sales, marketing, and education for a considerable period of time. And a lot of my knowledge about direct response marketing for beauty salons, especially those that are striving towards growing and scaling their business through skin treatments, advanced, facials, advanced skin treatments, and retail sales, has come from my knowledge around Shortcuts. In saying that, there isn't a point of sale software program that my team and I haven't had experience working with since we started, since I first launched SMC, which is what we refer ourselves to. We are the only marketing agency that specialises in client retention for beauty salons and skin clinics. And we do focus on your database. And the way that we help our clients achieve that is through direct response marketing campaigns. Think emails, SMS, that type of thing, but a whole lot more than that, print pieces, you name it. We have seen some amazing results through our clients. And what we know for sure is if what works for them can also work for you. So some of the services that we can help you with at SMC is you can outsource your annual campaign marketing to us, to my team. We can create and implement your marketing campaign for the year. For some of our clients, we've done that year in, year out. We also help establish foundational marketing strategies for client retention and that initial client journey using the marketing automation features built into your POS system. I'm specialised in membership creation. I received specialised training in the United States to help clinics introduce a membership to just like a gym style membership where your clients pay weekly, fortnightly or monthly. And we also specialise in branding, including treatment menus, logos, and all those important branding touch points. We have a new website. It's smcagency.com.au. You can go over and download some free Canva Instagram graphics at the end of today's presentation. You can also book a consultation with me, and if you click on our premium services, you'll learn more about everything that I just went through. I have an exclusive gift for you. Please stick around for the end of my presentation to discover what that is. But let's get stuck into 7 online marketing strategies to keep your business glowing. And for part 1, we will be going through what you will learn includes, we'll have a focus on virtual skin consultations, but introducing them for the long game, introducing the virtual service so that it's a permanent part of your offering as opposed to being a reaction to a macro situation. In marketing, we talk a lot about micro and macro. And the micro is what goes on within your business that you have control over. Think your team, your treatments, the brands that you work with, where you choose to market your business, the prices that you charge are examples of what we refer to as micro considerations. Macro is what goes on outside that you have no control over. We've got a lot of experience with macro right now, don't we? So it's the way that we react to those two situations. But with virtual skin consultations, there is a shift towards people having an expectation for virtual. So we're going to talk about that. I'm also going to give you ideas on how you can compete with big online retailers. People are Googling a lot at the moment. They are looking for solutions for their skin, and they are landing on websites that rank really highly on Google and may or may not offer some of the brands that you work with in clinic. But there is lots of things that you can do to give yourself every chance of winning that business and not losing that all-important skin client. And we're also going to talk about how to get if you have an online store or if you are prescribing product virtually through using an application like Zoom, and then to how you can actually take those clients from that virtual online store setting and introduce them to your treatment room, because that's definitely another opportunity that's unique to you, that you have, that the big online skin stores, they don't have that. They don't have treatment rooms. Okay, so let's get stuck into our first focus, how to introduce and maintain virtual skin consultations for the long game. I'd like to ask the question to the group: who's currently offering virtual skin consultations? Just pop it a comment in, let me know, and perhaps a little bit about what it's been like for you, how it's been received. Are you doing many of them? Is it something that you came out great guns for the first lockdown in COVID 1.0? Maybe you've lost a bit of momentum now. That seems to be quite common. Okay, so tell me what that experience has been like for you. But for anyone who hasn't dipped their toe in the water for virtual skin consultations, virtual services in general, now is the time to embrace it. Okay, you've got a great opportunity and a new way that you can care for your clients and of course grow your business along the way. This pandemic lifestyle, this pandemic experience that we've all been living, it's brought so many ups and downs for our industry. It's I totally recognize that, and I'm living it myself at the moment. But I do believe with a little shift in mindset, we can also recognize the opportunity that it's bringing for you and for your business as well. Virtual skin consultations last year, definitely, we know it was a reaction to government announcements, lockdowns, etc. Okay, but I do believe, and I'd like to encourage you all to consider making them a permanent part of your service offerings, because the landscape has definitely changed. And once upon a time, bricks and mortar was the way that we as far as our business model went, but there is a shift towards bricks, mortar and virtual. And I do believe it's here to stay. So I'd like to encourage all of you to embrace the opportunity and pay attention now to how you perhaps can take some action. And not everyone will do it. There'll be plenty of clinic owners in Australia, and there's tens of thousands that will just go too hard basket. I'll just wait this out, reopen. My main goal is just survive, but you can take this and do so much more with the virtual opportunity. We are seeing so many service-based businesses offer a virtual alternative because they've had to, because they have been, because they're an essential service especially. And I'm wondering how many of you have had a virtual telehealth or FaceTime consultation with a general practitioner, with your GP. I know since April last year, I've personally had around 4, and it might just involve a telephone call with my doctor, but there has been one time where she's needed to like see what's going on for me when I had like a rash on my skin. And then we used technology. We used FaceTime in order for her to be able to do it, which I have to say was a little bit funny, being in my kitchen and lifting my skirt. But anyway, it is what it is. There you go. So it's like, yeah, sure. There you go. She's like this on the phone going, oh, yeah. But it was, it is what it is. This is the world we live in. The point is, has anyone else had a situation where they've needed a virtual consultation with a professional, an expert? Happening every single day, and consumers are now starting to expect it. I don't know what your experience was like, but I have to say for me personally, it was very convenient having a virtual consultation or a telehealth consultation with my general practitioner. And it was convenient for so many reasons. I didn't need to drive to the office, find a park, wait outside with my mask on, wait to go in, wait in the waiting room, go through the traditional way of consulting with my doctor, and then receiving a piece of paper, i.e. prescription, to then take to a chemist. It was so simple, on the phone or on FaceTime. Here's the problem. Here's the solution. I'm sending you your prescription now via SMS. Straight into the chemist. That was it. All those steps missed out on. Present the QR code, scanned, prescription filled, out the door, problem fixed. Sound familiar? Does it sound like a way that you could actually, as far as you consulting with someone around their skin? They present with a problem, you offer a solution, you give them a prescription, they get their prescription filled, hopefully through you, and then their problem is fixed. So it was so effortless for me to meet with my GP in that way, and more than once. And once we reopen, if I'm able to still have telehealth support and virtual support, I personally prefer that now. It's fast becoming preferred by many people. It's convenient. It can be profitable. If you don't offer these type of services, if not now, in the not too distant future, you risk losing clients because they are going to come to expect it. It's especially important if you're in lockdown. I mean, if you don't offer these type of services, it's going to be very difficult to come out the other end and still have a business. And it's the new normal. I mean, I think we can make it the new extraordinary. So prepare your business, lead the way, be one of the few who embraces the opportunity as positioning yourself. Here we are, we're skin experts, we're your go-to experts in any situation. We can meet with you. We've got a process that we follow, and I'm going to go through that with you and give you tips on how you can make that happen. A process that we can follow, and we can help you achieve your skin goals. You'll receive your prescription. Ongoing care and support needs to be the messaging. And before I get stuck into that, I'd like to have a look at some of the other businesses and brands that are out there, and they are embracing virtual. And who would have thought that the City to Serve, for the second year running this year, would be a virtual event through an application? I mean, who would have thought? This is an Australian Sydney icon. And for 2021, for the second year in a row, you can participate in the City to Surf virtually through an application. Our own industry last year, Mocha Publishing's hand was forced to run the ABIA Awards virtually, and geez, they did a great job. They did a fantastic job. But how you communicate to your clients, to your audience on social media, how your virtual services work is really, really important. So consider technology like the previous example with the City to Surf, utilising an application for people to participate in that event, but also how you communicate it through your marketing, how you communicate it digitally is very important. So if we look at this slide, what has Mocha Publishing done? So they spoke about where to watch and how the event would live stream, both on Facebook and YouTube. They also spoke about the fact it was the ABIA Awards. It's clearly branded. Anyone from the beauty industry would be able to recognise that brand. All of the sponsors are there, but also see how they've used an infographic in the middle, the picture of Australia, the different colours for the states, the time that the broadcast was going to begin. That in itself is very important. And using infographics when you are communicating how something works is a fantastic way of making sure that you're getting your message to cut through. If those states and times were listed in bullet point format, just in copy, it wouldn't have had the same visual cut through as what it has. And can you imagine if you're in Western Australia and all you've heard through marketing is that the ABIAs start at 6 p.m, what time are you going to show up to watch the ABIAs when they needed to be there at 4? So the detail of your virtual services, whether or not it's skin consultations or a virtual workshop or hands-on event of any description, needs to be really clear. So I'm going to take you through the steps to introduce virtual consultations for the long game. My first point would be, I'd like you to consider the process you currently go through now before you introduce a new service to your treatment menu. So an actual skin treatment, a beauty service, any type of service done within the clinic. So the first step is usually you and your team get trained on how to perform the treatment. Then you'll establish a protocol for the team to follow. You probably type something out for them to follow as well. So everybody's singing the same song and your clients are receiving a similar experience. You'll add the service to your treatment menu, especially once you've launched it through a marketing campaign. You can see that it's definitely something that people want. So you'll introduce it to your treatment menu, and of course, then it will be added to your website. These are the basics in marketing, aren't they, for a clinic? The treatment menu and the website are, in my opinion, the second most valuable marketing assets that you own. What's first? Your database, okay? So you'll put it on your treatment menu, add it to your website, and then you'll start to market that service, okay, and launch the service. Those 5 steps can be applied to virtual salon services. So your virtual skin consultations, treat them as though they're a brand new facial treatment and follow the exact same process to introduce those services. And then you'll find with time, like anything, it will stick. Okay, so that's my first tip for you there. Learn the basic technologies. Everybody, except for young children, maybe even young children, are experienced with using QR codes now. Now, once upon a time, you needed a specialized application to scan a QR code. Not anymore. We just need our camera, and that's it, on our smartphone, regardless of the brand. People are doing it multiple times a day. So utilizing QR code technology is something that you need to learn on how you can generate your QR codes for your marketing. And it's very, very easy to do. If you go to Google and you search for free QR code application, free QR code generator, you'll get lots of different choices. And then it's pretty easy to use the technology. It's a matter of copying and pasting a URL link into whichever free application you decide to use. But if you're not sure, just YouTube that stuff, and it always comes up with there's some type of free training education out there on YouTube. Learning how to generate a bit.ly link is also going to be helpful. A bit.ly link is a URL shortener, and it allows you to be able to send out via SMS web pages, emails, and the type of which you could do. You could add a long URL from your website, which might be www.myskinclinic.com.au/online bookings. Lots of characters, really, really long for an SMS, would probably end up costing you 2 or 3 SMSs to send that out to your database. Or you could go to bit.ly.com and you can copy and paste that same URL into your bit.ly platform and then hit convert, and you'll get a little tiny URL shortener, and you can put that in an SMS. So learn how to use bit.ly. If everyone could write that down, and again, just go over to YouTube and you'll get a demonstration. Search for how to generate a bit.ly link on YouTube and you'll see it. You'll need to learn how to use Zoom. You can run your virtual skin consultations through FaceTime, through Messenger. There's lots of options out there. Zoom's really good because it allows you to have some real structure and to present yourself in the most professional way. You can record the consultation as well through Zoom and share that with your client later. You can send them an email with the Zoom link in advance with some tips on how to have a good Zoom experience. And there's some functionality within Zoom which can also help to enhance that experience for both of you. Zoom just gives you some more control, but my recommendation is use what you're comfortable with to get started. And you could even consider giving your clients some choice would they prefer to use Messenger or FaceTime. But yeah, Zoom's really great. And there are plenty of free trainings out there on YouTube, etc. So let's talk a little bit about the online skin consultation and how you can introduce some structure around. Remember I was saying the steps that you would follow to introduce a new treatment to your menu. So we talked about the fact that you get training on how to perform the facial. And then step 2 was you would put together protocols for your team to follow. The previous slide, we talked about learning the technology that you'll need, and now we're going to talk about the protocols and some tips that you could consider to excel and really stand out like a flamingo with your online skin consultations. Preparation's everything. I always talk about practicing the 4 Ps. Preparation prevents poor performance. Preparation does take time. It does, but it removes anxiety. It helps you feel confident. And there's really no difference when you are meeting with a client through a screen or when you're meeting with them face to face. You're the skin expert. You've got all of the knowledge and all of the experience. You could talk about people's skin standing on your head. But when it comes to doing it virtually, in the beginning, it's new to you. So preparing, using PowerPoint like I am today, using a skin block model like what you can see on the screen to explain to your client what's happening with their skin would also be very helpful. So they're available and easy for you to purchase. Asking your clients to send photos in advance would also be very helpful. And as you're going through the consultation with them and they're sharing with you, what their problem is and what they feel they need some help with. And if you think of any stories of other clients whose skin you've treated, especially if you've treated it predominantly with home care, and that there are plenty of skin clients of that category out there that are really happy to take care of their skin with, you know, a good solid prescription that has been personalized for them with active professional brands that have active formulations and ingredients. There are plenty of people out there that are happy just to take care of their skin that way and never have a treatment as well. They're a really solid skin client, especially if they're coming back to you time and time again. So if you have any stories to share or case studies that are relevant to them, and how you know you're probably going to end up caring for them, the recommendations that you'll make for their skin. If they're dialing in from a remote location far away from you, it's quite obvious they're never going to come in for a treatment, but they still may discover your clinic and your services through the marketing that you're doing on social media, etc. So have those stories ready in advance, especially because you'll be pre-sending out your consultation forms for them to complete. You'll see those photos before you meet with them, and there'll be at some point you'll be reminded of someone that you've helped in the past. People love hearing success stories that relate to them and their problem, and how you know, if it happens for someone, it can also happen for them. Always, of course, at the end of the consultation, share that prescription with a clear call to action on how they can purchase from you, if not right there on the spot. And it's just a matter of asking the client, let's get you started today. I can get this out for you today, and then just move through to ending the transaction. You've already spent that time with them. You've already given them a solution. It makes sense that you would just assume that they were going to go ahead with you, and they most likely will. I can't imagine too many situations that someone wouldn't fill a prescription with a skin clinic once someone had actually gone through that process. Something that while we're on the topic of transactions, something that I forgot to mention when I was talking about my experience with my general practitioner is that her fees for that virtual experience or the telehealth experience were exactly the same as me going into the clinic. There was no difference. It's $100 to see her face-to-face, through over the telephone or through FaceTime. And I can't even imagine why anyone would expect there to be any difference. So if you're charging for your skin consultations at the moment, don't change that when you move into the virtual space. Stick to what it is that you've done in the past, because the delivery of the service, the information and the solutions that you offer are going to be just exactly the same as if anyone's coming in and they're you know, going under a Maggie lamp. So yeah. Also, demonstrate how they can access the prescription through your online store and how it works, especially if any of the brands that you work with are internet protected and there needs to be a member login portal. You've got them there. You can share your screen if you're using Zoom. You can actually share your screen if you're using FaceTime as well. Messenger, not FaceTime. And so take that moment to demonstrate how they can actually access the products. Even if they don't need a login, you could just quickly share your screen, go to your website, bring up your online store, show them where they can find their products so it's nice and easy, and help them move forward with filling that prescription that you're recommending. So marketing your virtual skin service, your new virtual consultation, the first thing that we will be going through is featuring it on your treatment menu. And that was I think the third step in our previous slide on what you do when you introduce a new service to your clinic. Also too, it's really important, of course, to use your database. Everything we do at SMC focuses on our clients' database, utilizing direct response marketing strategies and tactics. Now, when we talk about direct response, we're talking about sending out some type of touch point. It might be an email, and there's a call to action for a direct response. So what's great about direct response marketing as opposed to a more brand approach to marketing, where you're not asking them to take an action, is that you can measure the results. And if you're utilizing a database, you definitely always want to have some type of call to action. And I'll be able to show you what that looks like in just a moment. So let's consider how, if you have your treatment menu and you have your services listed on your treatment menu, I think I have one here. Yeah, I do. So here I have a treatment menu for one of our clients, and she has all different types of service categories on her menu. So we know that she offers laser hair removal and specialized advanced skin treatments, facial treatments, and also other beauty related services in different categories. So it's really easy for me to find where I fit, or like where to find my solution that I'm looking for on this all important marketing piece. And what I'd like to propose to you all is what you could do is add your virtual skin consultation definitely to your treatment menu, but not in such a generic way where it's just a customized virtual skin consultation. Because when I look at Sally's menu, I'm seeing that she has solutions for acne, rosacea, pigmentation, and I think that you could do the same with your virtual consultation. So think about, even if like with your existing menu, if you put an insert for new, now offering virtual skin consultations, and then you actually listed a consultation description for all the different types of skins that you can treat. Perhaps you specialize in only treating acne, for example, and if you include a description of what that experience is going to be like, the problem, and how potentially you'll be able to fix it through a virtual skin service, then I just feel like your clients are already trained to use a menu in that way, and it will just help to establish this new service even more because they'll find their spot. Okay. And another thing that I'd recommend that you do is include, if you have them, before and after photos. So if you have a client who you have consulted with virtually and you've got the photos that they've sent to you before, you know, their first consultation, and you give them a complete home care regime, and it's 3 months later and they've met back with you for some follow-up and you can see they've great results, then definitely get those after photos sent in. We've seen some amazing before and after photos in our group in SMC Insider that have been only achieved through how clients have started to take care of their skin at home, because they've become interested in their skin during COVID lockdown 1.0 last year, and yeah, that was the only option that they had. So if you have got before and afters on how home care prescriptions have helped people with specific skin conditions, feature them on that insert as well, because it gives the whole process even more credibility that they don't necessarily need to have a skin treatment to get results. So there's some more categories that you could consider, including acne men's and teens. Okay, and I've suggested including that description of the skin condition you'll address during the consultation. Now, one of the tips that I gave you with marketing was to feature your new virtual consultations on your campaign marketing. So the graphics that you see here are graphics that are being designed for a website. And you can see just down here, we've got a slice, and this can also be emailed out. That you've got your new virtual skin consultations, how they work and how they can actually make a booking. And if you look up the top here, we've actually included a strong call to action right at the top as well, so they don't miss that and they can see that virtual skin consultations are on offer at the clinic. So whether or not it's email, print, on your website, on socials, talk about the fact that you now offer virtual skin consultations. It's also important to have a plan in place on how you're going to transition your client from the virtual skin consultation. You've personalised the prescription and now you need to transition them into a retail sale. So what I'd like to share with you next is the importance of having a strong retail offer, especially through lockdown, and predominantly too to compete with the major online stores. So we do hear about clinics who spend a lot of time going through a skin consultation form. They analyze the skin, they go through the prescription, they issue the prescription, only to discover later that the person may have gone off and purchased online. And it does happen, but there are steps that you can put in place to prevent that from happening. I know it doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes when it happens once, it feels like it's happening all the time, or if it happens once or twice. And we have this tendency to sort of lean towards, oh, it's just not worth doing it. They're just going to go and, you know, buy from wherever. But there are definitely things that you can do to prevent that from happening, because you have some strengths that are their weaknesses. So there's lots of reasons to have a strong retail offer, especially if you're going through a lockdown at the moment, to transition and convert them into a retail sale, but also to make sure that that sale lands with you. Because it is, look, clients are online. They're more than they've ever been before. A lot of you are already aware of that because you pivoted last year by introducing an online store for your skincare. I know that there was a big take up across our industry of clinics that had never had an online store before and went, okay, I've got to do this. I have no choice. I've got to keep my business growing. So I'm going to introduce an online store, which was a really smart move because people are Googling. They're Googling lots of different things about skin and brands, and they're landing in some places that might not best serve them, that they could become quite confused and overwhelmed and, you know, purchase the wrong thing. And God only knows what the damage they can do with some of the formulations that are available online, but, you know, feel like they've wasted their money and, you know, skincare doesn't work when really they didn't land in the right place to get advice from people like you who are professional and are able to guide them to making sure they're using what is actually going to work on their skin. Okay, you have a database full of happy clients, so they know, like, and trust you. In fact, they love you, and they also want to be loyal to you. They want to spend their money with you. So we are going to go through and work out a way that we're guaranteed to make that happen, and also to increase average client spend. So wouldn't it be great if we were seeing an average client spend of $250 or more for multiple products and multiple units of products, as opposed to, I don't know, 150 or something for a couple of products? Yeah, so putting together an offer is going to also help you with increasing average client spend. So what we want to do is put together something that we can customize for the people who we know their skin, and rather than put them all in a box and of just one size fits all, especially in a virtual skin consultation situation. And the fact that you have a relationship with the people in your database, the fact that you already know them and they you, that's a real advantage when it comes to being able to ensure that they're spending their dollars with you for their home care. Most of them have met with you face to face and you've seen their skins. And for a lot of people, you have their histories if they've purchased retail from you in the past. So now's the time to really start using those histories, especially if you are in a lockdown situation and you're doing a lot of virtual work. So I'd like to introduce you to an offer that we put together for one of our clients. And there have been many different versions and variations of this particular marketing campaign set. This set is from our marketing, our DIY alternative to our done-for-you premium services. So these graphics have been created in Canva. And what it means is that anyone who purchases one of these marketing campaign sets that wants to launch virtual services and also wants to have a strong retail promotion at any time, at least once a year, I would recommend running a 1, 2, 3 free promotion. Any aspect of the design can be changed. So obviously the products would change, the colors, the fonts. You could also make adjustments to the copy if you feel that you need to make some adjustments with the copy. But the offer itself is, when you buy any 3 skincare products, you get your 4th for free. We've tried and tested buy 4, get the 5th. It didn't work. We've tried buy 2, get the 3rd half price. It didn't work. Buy 3, get the 4th for free works wonders every single time. So because it's a direct response marketing, because we only work with direct response marketing strategies, we're able to test and measure, and that's what we've found works best for most beauty salons and skin clinics that we work with anyway. So how does it work? Well, the product of the lowest RRP value is usually the product that is complementary. Quite often it'll be a cleanser. Before you meet with your clients, and especially over a virtual skin consultation, and you've got if you do have their details, they're not a new person who's come to you through social media. You have their histories. You're able to customize the promotion before you even meet with them virtually, and So for example, if they've purchased 3 products from you in the past, or even 4 products from you in the past, what you can do is look at how long has it been since they last purchased from you. You'll know that it's probably time for them to replenish or not. Therefore, what size products to recommend, but also it's a great opportunity to introduce them to a new product as well. So you could change it a little bit, whereas it's not necessarily the product of the lowest RRP they get for free, but it could be a product that they've never tried that they get for free. And you have the power to be able to make that suggestion. So it's completely customizable. You can personalize it based around what it is that you're trying to achieve. You might have stock that you would like to move through that you know is going to be a great fit for this particular person. You could make that your focus. But if it's open to 1, 2, 3 free, and it's not specific to buy 3 products and your cleanser's free, buy 3 products and this mask is free, it gives you a lot of room to move, and you want that when you are, especially when you're personalizing prescriptions 1 client at a time. The best way to market that type of promotion is utilizing the most valuable asset you own, your database. And I used to question, what's more important, not important, what's more valuable for a clinic business? Is it the team or is it the database? And I was never really quite sure. And in the end, I thought, well, it's both. But then when we went through what we went through in April last year, it was quite evident when you all stood your team members down that your database was the only thing that you were left with. And it's just so important. It's such an important asset. These type of promotions, to get them out there, whether or not you're launching your virtual skin consultations, or you're running, or you're trying to increase your retail because that's all you have to work with at the moment. Sending out emails and SMS is definitely going to be helpful to you. So is picking up the phone and calling your clients, and utilizing your team, seeing your team as influencers on social media. Your team are your greatest influencers. So if you can get them involved on your socials, I highly recommend that you do that, featuring the offer on your website as well as print pieces. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a moment, and actually I'll go and grab some more examples on how you can personalize that type of direct response marketing. And then I'll share my screen again as soon as I get this up. So sharing my screen. Whenever you're putting together marketing campaigns, rather than use stock photos, try and use photos of yourself. So here we have more or less the same promotion that I was just, visual marketing. This is on one of our clients' websites. It's the promotions page on her website. And this is the primary piece in this marketing campaign set. So we're talking about the fact that we have got virtual skin consultations, and Rosanna's doing them through Zoom, FaceTime, and Messenger, with a clear call to action to book now. And also what happens once they book. So let us know in the appointment notes how you'd like to get in touch, whether or not that's going to be Zoom, Messenger, or FaceTime. But see the difference in how more personalized the messaging is, because it has a picture of Rosanna ready to do her virtual consultation rather than just a stock photo. And that's a photo that probably her husband's taken of her. It's not a professional photographer or anything like that. So there's never been a more important time to use the correct products and maintain your skin goals. There's our messaging, 1, 2, 3 free. So she has that lovely flexibility to make whatever recommendations she needs to make. And we're also growing her Facebook group audience too, because there's lots of fun that goes on in Facebook. So there's another example there. We have another one here with Lisa from Belly Don, and she has chosen to use a stock photo, but it's very, very relevant. It's important to use graphics that make sense for your marketing message. And again, showing all the different brands, even the lash growth serum that she works with. And then we have another one here of one of our clients, and Athena went with herself behind, having her retail shelf behind her. And you can see big difference between using a stock photo and using your own photo. So again, that's just a photo that one of her staff have taken of her handing over that retail package to her clients. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to point out, like for those of you who might be in lockdown at the moment, if you do have an online store and you've invested in, whether or not you've engaged a web developer to help you with that, or you've done it yourself, you've invested your time, you've done it yourself as a response to the macro threat that you've been faced with, which is lockdown. Okay, I need an online store, I'm going to get it done. Sometimes we can think that's enough. It's not. You've got to work it. Okay. Sending a few emails and SMSs is also not enough when you're in lockdown. You really, really need to pick up the phone because you've lost your foot traffic. So if you think about when your clinic's open, you've got lots of people coming through for a huge variety of different services. You've got that foot traffic. So you can substitute that foot traffic that you've lost with the telephone. You have a real relationship with your clients and they want to hear from you. Okay. I have a couple of examples on how I've personally been affected by someone picking up the phone or not picking up the phone. And I go to a Pilates studio here in Clovelly for reformer Pilates on a regular basis. And it's one of the things I've really missed in lockdown, my regular Pilates classes. And I was a little bit disappointed when I discovered on Instagram that the brand, a fluid form brand, which is a big brand in Sydney, offered fantastic virtual classes for Pilates, and that you could sign up for $40 a month, and they sent you out all of this equipment. And I just felt disappointed as a regular student of the studio to discover that accidentally on social media. It would have been so great if, like, my teacher had called me and went, Vanessa, we've got you covered through lockdown for Pilates, and it's going to feel as rejuvenating as reformer normally does for you. You're going to love it. Videos are great. We've got all this equipment for you. It's only $40 a month, 3-month commitment. And I would have been in like Flynn, let me tell you. So just that phone call would have made such a big difference. I am now doing daily Pilates, utilizing this new online version. And I've got to say, it is as rejuvenating the way I feel at the end of it as reformer. I'm kind of wondering if I'll ever go back to reformer again because I really love it. There's nothing wrong with that though, because I used to travel a lot before COVID happened, internationally and domestically, and I will again. And that means I can just take fluid form with me wherever I go. But I just would have felt better about the brand if they'd called me and told me about it, because I missed out on 8 weeks. It was 8 weeks of missing my Pilates. The same happened with my hairdresser. Didn't really get much support as far as how I'm taking care of my hair at home. And, you know, we all know what that's like at lockdown. And when, you know, I did eventually call her, what can I do? And there wasn't really much, you know, going on. And I put it out on Facebook. I remember putting it out on my personal page. Geez, I tell you what, if you're married to a hairdresser right now, you've hit gold, you lucky woman. And I ended up getting a personal message through someone who I used to see, and I've been seeing my hairdresser for 5 years. And he popped up because we're friends on Facebook, and he said, Vanessa, let's jump on a FaceTime and let me have a look at your hair. What's going on with your hair? And I can help you out. And what I ended up doing was I ended up getting products sent out, but I also received a delight and surprise moment as well, a delight and surprise gift within that box. And this is something you can all do with your online store and your telephone orders for your retail sales, is include a $25 gift voucher redeemable towards any skin treatment or facial within that packaging, within a handwritten note. Because what I received from this hairdresser is also located in Sydney with my products, and I now have my lockdown solution, was a $25 voucher redeemable towards my first color. There's a very good chance I'm going to book in. My previous hairdresser has lost a client who was spending probably $3,500 a year in her salon because she just didn't go that little bit of an extra mile when I needed that support. So this works. And I can tell you that it's worked beautifully for one of our clients recently who has an online store, used that marketing campaign promotion that I showed you, launching her virtual services, 1, 2, 3 free, and then including a $25 voucher redeemable in the clinic towards a skin treatment when they reopen. And these are some of the messages that came in from clients. Let's have a look at this one. Hi, Lisa. Thanks so much for dropping off my products yesterday and for the generous gift voucher that came in it. I'll be one of the first to come in when you reopen for that long-awaited facial. That's a new facial client for that clinic. just opened my little bag. Thanks so much for dropping off my mags and products. Special thanks for the facial gift voucher. I'm booking in as soon as you reopen. Very generous of you. It's only a $25 voucher for a first-time facial client. Isn't that wonderful? That's very, very new, what you're seeing there. Those messages, those screenshots of those messages, that's from the beginning of the Sydney lockdown. So they're only a couple of months old. Okay, so this stuff really does work. Delight and surprise is wonderful. People love getting something extra, unexpected, that just comes across exactly what this client said to Lisa, who owns this particular skin clinic. Very generous of you. It's a promotional voucher. That's all it is. But look how it was received. So using delight and surprise is also going to help you stand out from big online retailers, and also to help you drive more clients into your treatment rooms from your online, from your virtual skin consultations and your online store. Another idea from something I received virtually recently, I celebrated my birthday, the big 50, about 3 weeks ago. And at first it was like, oh, turning 50 in lockdown, I'm meant to be skiing in New Zealand. This is not ideal. Okay, I swore, but I don't know you all well enough to swear like I normally do, so I won't. And you know, Shelley would be like, yeah, that's Vanessa. Wasn't ideal, but I ended up making the most of it. And Otto is a restaurant located in Sydney that if I'm not overseas having an amazing experience for my birthday like I was before COVID, I go to Otto for lunch. And it turns out that I could get Otto delivered through a new business called Providor, which is like the fine dining restaurants in Sydney coming together, and it's like Uber Eats, but for top restaurants. What I found very interesting when I actually opened my Providor box on that day was they included a simple branded flyer, and I can, join their mailing list. But look at this. There was a QR code, and again, learning how to use the technology and using the technology in the new way that you're doing business remotely, virtually, sending people out packages to enhance their experience. So this one was an Otto Ocasa playlist. I could scan it. It took me straight through to Spotify, and it started playing a playlist that was similar to the music I'd listened to in the restaurant. And they're saying it's time to open the wine and set the table and escape to the Italian piazza with the sounds of Otto. Now, isn't that, I just got my flamingo bumps. No, I don't get goosebumps. I get flamingo bumps. And when I opened that up, I was like, Mr. SMC, my partner, was there. I went, oh my God, look at this, so flamingo. And he's like, what is it? And I went, it's a playlist, get the phone. And we scanned it, we started playing it, we popped the wine and had the food going. I just thought, wow, haven't they just stood out amongst a flock of pigeons? How easy would it be for a salon to put together a playlist and send home a home facial kit during lockdown and utilize a similar type of description as far as enhance the experience of having this beautiful, ritual, skin ritual at home with our playlist. Now's the time to light a candle, pop your headband on, get some essential oils going and play the sounds of your clinic's brand while they're having a facial treatment at home that you've prescribed through your virtual services. So that ends part one. Part two, what you'll be learning is why Facebook groups are so important for your brand and your business growth, especially at the moment. We're going to talk about the power of virtual product demonstrations. I'm going to share some stories with you on how it's been successful for other clinic owners just like you, and why it's so beneficial to work with referral partners, like-minded businesses in your local area, whether you're in lockdown or not. And I'm also going to focus on virtual events and how and why it's important for you to consider hosting hands-on workshops or virtual events to position yourself as a true skin experts, go-to skin experts, regardless of what's going on from the macro with lockdowns, etc. In a whole new way, I promised you a gift. It's a complimentary one-on-one marketing consultation. If you go to our website, and you will see at the very top of our website, you can book in for a one-on-one consultation with me. The value of a 30-minute consultation is $165. We have 10 spots. Write down that discount code, VITA+100. The consultation will predominantly be talking about how you can utilize your database. So to qualify, you need a database of happy clients that have been visiting you on a regular basis for years. And I'll show you how you can increase your overall annual revenue by as much as 33% in your first year if you know how to use your database properly, growing 3 key areas. And yeah, so I hope that we are limited on spots because there's only one of me and lots of you. But for those who might miss out on that, what you can also do is join our exclusive group SMC Insider for free for a month, and just search for SMC Insider on Facebook and answer the 3 questions, and our team will introduce you. And that's everything I have for you this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And I'm, again, thanks so much, Frank, and the team at VitaPlus for having me.
Oh, thank you so much, Vanessa. My God. So inspirational.
Oh.
So many little gems, absolute gems that you shared with us. I'm so glad we split that up into 2, because it would have been such a shame to miss all the details that you've gone through. So thank you very, very much. I particularly love the 1, 2, 3 offer, the light and surprise, and I'm so glad that you brought up things like the QR codes, getting to know. They're so easy to implement. And what a great little story about the restaurant, putting that playlist. Oh, it also gave me flamenco goosebumps. Flamenco bumps. But yes, thank you. So, so there's a few people who asked again how to get a 30-minute.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I've just put your website again.
Yeah, and I'll just quickly show them where to go, because it'll save some time. And so if you go to our website, here's our website here.
Yeah.
And then if you just click right there, let's talk.
Yeah.
And then you can use that discount code, which I set up this morning and tested it. So
you see, there's an example of you showing us where to go.
Yes, exactly.
Something that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Vanessa, it's been such a wonderful 1 hour. It's actually a little bit over an hour, but it's been really full of interesting points. And thank you so much
My pleasure, Frank,
for your valuable time. I can't wait to have the second half next week. So it'll be the same Zoom link for everyone there. We'll send out an email, an SMS, just to remind everybody that we'll have the second half next week on Monday at 1 p.m. And thank you. You have a wonderful week, and we'll see everybody back again next week.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.